What's up, everyone, and welcome to the 20th episode of the Control Freak Podcast. I am your host, Alex Blackard, or @LessAlex on Twitter. Make sure to follow me there. This is the only Magic the Gathering podcast devoted to all things blue-white control in Modern. So if you dig casting Snapcaster Mage, Jace the Mind Sculptor, and playing your Mystic Sanctuaries to get back your cryptic commands, this is the podcast for you. I'm proudly sponsored by Solitary Pro. They are the team that sponsors this podcast and sponsors me as a player. All their information will be in the show notes and the description below. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to give the thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you dig the podcast and you dig the content. Today's episode going to be a little bit different. This is basically an episode that I'm going to be looking at past episodes and what I'm going to start doing moving forward. Still going to be awesome content that you've grown to expect if you're new here. I apologize, this is probably not a great episode to come in on because I won't really be talking about much about the metagame or anything. Usually I'm breaking down metagames, talking about sideboarding, talking about those fun-ofs that are always in the deck. You always have a couple slots that you can, transition between cards. But this week I'm talking about the past and the future for my content. Basically, moving forward, it's still going to be a free podcast and all that stuff, and I definitely appreciate everybody who's given me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Make sure to go do that right now because that definitely helps a bunch with the analytics and all of that stuff on the ranking the podcast. It's similar to the YouTube algorithm when suggesting videos and podcasts. So you should still be doing that. I definitely appreciate it if you have. But moving forward, I'm starting a Patreon. Yeah, it's something that I've been kicking around the idea of for a few weeks. Finally, I talked with my girlfriend, my partner, my love. And yeah, she is also a content creator in a whole different aspect, a whole different niche. She has a YouTube that has 30,000 subscribers, so I trust her. I trust her. She said, yeah, you might as well. And the thing that really stuck at home and really convinced me to go ahead with the whole Patreon thing is she said, you have fans, you have viewers, you have listeners that you don't even know about that will never really say anything but might support you on Patreon. And it's just another way to show your support. So if you have a couple extra bucks at the end of the month, and you want to throw it at a content creator, I definitely would appreciate it, in supporting the content that I make. There's going to be 3 tiers to start off with. The first tier is it's monthly too, so you just pay one once a month. Since this is a weekly podcast, I didn't want to do it per creation like you can. So the first one is just a $2 a month tier. And basically, that's just to show the support that you enjoy the content. And additionally, though, I will give you a Discord badge. I do have a Discord. I've had it for a while, but I don't really promote it because it's not very active at this point. I'm hoping to change that with this. You will get a badge in there. And additionally, every time I have a new patron at that level, I will shout you out on the podcast. So that's something too that first $2 tier will get. And of course, like I said, that first tier is really just to say, hey, Alex, I really dig the content. Keep doing what you're doing. And again, I definitely appreciate. At the next tier is a $5 tier. That gets those same things. So you get the badge on Discord as well as the shout out. But additionally, you get to ask questions for the podcast. So yeah, and that's pretty cool. That's something that I think adds value. Again, that's the $5 tier. And then at the $10 tier, so $10 a month, you'll get all of those things. In addition to, I'll be giving out the 75 that I'm playing that month and that week, really. If I understand Patreon, and I've only really just set it up last night. I'm recording this on Friday because I'm going to SCG Indy, which I will be playing blue-white. So, got to stick to the guns and rep the blue-white control. But yeah, you'll be able to ask questions, and you'll get the 75. So whatever deck I'm playing that week, I believe I can update it weekly. So you'll get that 75. So yeah, there's a $2, a $5, and a $10 tier. Again, I appreciate if anyone has shared or retweeted or given me a review on the Apple Podcast or given a thumbs up on the YouTube videos. It's all been awesome. It's all been great. I'm definitely, wanting to ramp up and make more content and ultimately make the content better. I record all of these videos through OBS. I'm hoping to be able to get some other kind of video equipment so that I can make it a lot better. And that's what all this will be going into. Additionally, though, this is an idea that I've been thinking about for a little bit longer. Additionally, I'm sure that you've seen the new logo. I just had a new logo designed by one of my buddy's girlfriends. So shout out to Angelica. That new logo, right there. Right there is a brand new logo. She worked with me, and we got it hammered out, and I'm super excited about it. She's a great artist. I don't think she has a Twitter or anything, so I can't really link anything. But yeah, so that logo, I'm going to be selling t-shirts of. I'm a huge fan of t-shirts. I have 1 million t-shirts in my closet. I keep it pretty casual, as you can see, just a hoodie and hat most of the time. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of t-shirts. So what better way to be able to support the podcast? I am putting my own money into these t-shirts. So they're going to be $25 shipped. You can pay for them on PayPal. So $25, and on the PayPal notes, whenever you pay, just tell me what size you need and your shipping address. So that's all I need is your size and your shipping address. They're going to be cotton. So keep that in mind. Might be some shrinkage if you wash in hot water or whatever, however you wash your clothes. But yeah, it's going to be that, that image right there, with, on the breast pocket, just like how this one is, it's going to be on a t-shirt. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited that, the last couple of weeks, my numbers on the podcast and on YouTube have been going up and up and up and up. So I definitely was like, what the heck? Well, maybe this is something that I need to look into. And, with Abby telling me and all my friends and family saying, yeah, just do it. Just see what's the worst that could happen. You get stuck with some shirts, which, that may very well happen, but I'm pretty hopeful that, I can sell this first batch. I'm going to order 20. So if you want a first batch of the Control Freak t-shirts, make sure to order them quick, because I'm hopeful that they'll sell, that they'll sell very quickly. I will be willing to do another batch if we, if I can sell the first 20 relatively quickly. So yeah, this episode, again, is just kind of a quick glance at the past and the future. I'm very excited to see what's in store for my content and for the podcast. Still a weekly episode, still free. Obviously, the YouTube content will still all be free, but the Patreon, if you want to chip in a couple extra bucks every month to show your support, and of course in those higher tiers on Patreon, you're going to be getting a little bit more bang for your buck. Eventually, if the Patreon, picks up and get more and more patrons on there, I will definitely be willing to add more stickers and tokens, or something I've also considered for patrons. So I'm definitely willing to expand if it starts, picking up steam. But yeah, it was episode 6. Episode 6 was the Core Set 20 set review. That was one that my buddy Zach Johnson, who is another podcaster, that he has a great podcast about mental health in Magic. So I'll leave a link to that in this one. He's a great dude. We recorded episode 6 not once but twice. Okay, and it was because I was recording straight to my phone at the time, and yeah, I had to all my usage on my phone was used up. So we had to re-record it, and luckily he was like, yeah, let's do it again, no biggie. And then it happened again. Because at the time I didn't know what the problem was. So yeah, I mean, it sucked. It sucked big time. We recorded it, he's like, let's try it again. We recorded it again. It stopped about 30 minutes through. He's like, hey man, that really sucks, but no hard feelings, but I can't, I gotta get home. I got work in the morning. I'm like, sure, I definitely understand that. I then recorded it again. Still, I didn't know what the problem was, right? Dumb me, stupid me, for not realizing that it was my phone acting up and the storage was full. But yeah, it happened again about 5 minutes into the third recording. So I was like, oh my God. I was real down in the dumps, as I think anyone would be. But I talked to Abby, and she was like, look, just come home. I'll take care of our daughter, and just kind of chill for a bit, refresh your mind, and tackle it again tonight. So I ended up doing that. I ended up switching to the way that I record now, which is through OBS, and then I, put it through Audacity. I rip the audio from Audacity, and that's how I record now. So that was probably, in terms of creating, my lowest point, because I was ready to just give it up, and both Zach and Abby really were like, hey man, and Zach was like, you can just go home and record it, man. I'm sorry. Just don't give up. And that was really the point where I mean, that was a crossroads for me. If I would have stopped at that point, that's episode 6. We're on episode 20. That was a long time ago, really. So at that point, huge shout out to Abby and Zach. They both really, really helped out in a big way, because that could have been it for me. That could have been it for the podcast, and I wouldn't have, gotten to this point now, with the sponsorship and with as much as many downloads as I'm getting now. I'm really, really excited that I didn't. Looking back, I'm glad I didn't stop. Because I've had failed projects. If you go back and look at my YouTube, there's a thing called Threads for Less, and I'm into sneakers and I'm into fashion. So that was something that just I couldn't keep up with. Financially, it was like pretty crazy. This is much less of a bar, right? I just talk into a microphone. With that, I was buying sneakers and buying T-shirts and stuff pretty regularly, and it was just a lot, and I couldn't keep up with it. There was a failed project of mine, but it led me to this. It led me to the Control Freak. So definitely a lesson, if anything. So I'm very excited to see what this becomes. Ultimately is a wrong word, but I do want to eventually have a to kind of tell you what all your, your money, if you do buy a t-shirt or if you do become a patron, what that'll all be going towards. I'm just going to be putting it straight back into the product. Eventually, I want to have a website where I can not only have all of my content, all of my podcasts, all the videos and everything, all the YouTube videos, and I'm going to start writing articles and sideboard guides. I know that's kind of a meme right now, with the sideboard guides and stuff, but I do want to have my own website and not only have my stuff, but invite other creators and other, people to make content and have an outlet and be able to grow not only as content creators, not only as Magic players, but, just build a community that shares information. That's always what this has been about, is getting better and sharing information. So, that's basically the whole thing, is like just getting better. I know I'm kind of rambling in this episode, but I didn't want this. I didn't write a script or anything for this episode, or don't even have show notes for this episode. I just wanted this to be, just me talking to you about my thoughts on where I'm going from here. I've got a really awesome guest set up for episode 21. I'm not gonna tell you yet who it is, but he's well, I guess I kind of gave a little bit away that it's a male, but he's a great blue-white player. He's a great control player, and I'm really excited to have him on. He hasn't been on the podcast yet, so if y'all are thinking about Fran, it's not Fran. The 21st episode won't be Fran, although we're working to try and get him on the episode. Our schedules are like complete opposite, so it's really kind of difficult to get him on. But yeah, it's not Fran. I'm really excited to have the person that's going to be on. But yeah, this episode again, I think I'm going to end up naming it Telling Time. Kind of pretty good episode name for this one. Kind of a look back, that episode 6 was a real dagger, and it really did almost, I was almost going to call it quits. Luckily, I didn't. The next episode I had Fran on, and I mean, the rest is kind of history. So definitely still motivated, still excited about this podcast. I do it because I love making content. I do it because I think that there's information to be shared, and I think that it this is valuable information. Anybody who's said anything positive or really even given me constructive criticism, it's definitely helped, and I definitely appreciate everyone, and I love y'all, and it's been a wild ride so far, but I'm definitely not done yet. That's pretty much all I've got. I know this is a super short episode. It's coming up on like 19 minutes here, but I do apologize if you were expecting a full 30-minute to 45-minute episode, but I did just want to announce, we got the Patreon. I will have it in the link, and I will be selling those t-shirts. I'll have a image of them pinned to my Twitter. That'll be the best way to get a hold of me and be able to purchase those. I'll have a link, of course, to my Twitter in the notes and in the description below. It's been an awesome ride, everybody. It's been great. Thanks to Solitary Pro for picking me up and, sponsoring the podcast and, allowing me to go to Indianapolis this weekend. That's going to be awesome. Special thanks to all my friends and Abby and Zach, who, again, has an awesome podcast that I'll link. And to Francesco Amati. Without him, man, he found a liking to me, and for whatever reason, he and I we got to talking, and we're very similar people, so that's really crazy. Big shout out to him. Big thanks to him. I'm really excited to see where this next chapter of the podcast and of my content creation in general is going to go. But yeah, if you dig the content, head over to the Patreon. If you got a couple extra bucks, definitely go into a good cause. The Blue White community, I think, has shown that they dig the content. So yeah, as always, Magic players, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. As always, be kind to one another. Have a great night.